What's going on YouTube? So if you don't know what vehicle this is, then you probably haven't been out recently, because this is the Toyota RAV4, one of the best-selling vehicles in America. And today we're with the latest 2024 Toyota RAV4. So what's new for 2024? And is this still one of the best picks amongst all the competition you have to choose from? Well, let's go ahead and find out. All right, so let's get things started here with our spec dump. Now, what's under the hood is not going to change for 2024, so you're going to have several different powertrain options. Most people, though, will still be going with the traditional gas option, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with 203 horsepower.
You have an 8-speed automatic. All-wheel drive is standard equipment on this trim level, but front-wheel drive is the standard option for other trim levels. And as far as your fuel economy is concerned, it's sitting at 28 miles a gallon combined.
Now, of course, later on in this review, we're going to go out for a test drive to show you the performance. While we're on that drive, we're going to get things like our sound level reading, so you can compare that on carconfections.com to all the competition. But first, let's close up the hood and take a look at the exterior design. Now, you might have noticed by this point that this RAV4 is looking pretty cool, and that is because of one of the 2024 changes, which we'll start out with right from the start here, Army Green. This is a color that debuted on the TRD models of the Tundra and Tacoma, and now we have it here on the RAV4, so long as you choose one of the kind of off-road focused trim levels. So that's the Adventure, the Woodland Edition, or the TRD Off-Road. Today we have the Adventure, and as you can see, this is the Army Green, which I really like in person. Now, speaking of the Adventure trim, that is going to get you a different look up here in the front compared to most of the other trim levels. A little bit tougher, more aggressive in terms of our front fascia here, especially down here in the lower elements where we have this kind of chunky silver bumper. Now, as we come over to our headlights, these are going to be LED headlights. As you can see, we have a very nice looking unit with our daytime running light across the top. You've got your turn signal right there. The off-road trims are also going to move the LED fog lamps kind of up from the bottom to more of this center section for a beefier look. Now, moving around to the rear design, just like with the rest of the vehicle, it continues to have that kind of boxy and rugged look to the model.
Yeah, and as far as some of those individual elements, Drew's going to go ahead and hop inside, because here at Car Confections, we test out all the tail light elements to see if they're all LED. So we do have an LED brake light portion, some LED accenting. We have an incandescent reverse light and incandescent turn signal indicator. So 1 out of 3 elements are LED. That's standard across the entire RAV4 range. That's not going to change for 2024. Now, as we head down to this lower area, here on the Adventure model, we do have a nice silver finish, which provides a lot of contrast. And we're also going to have dual integrated exposed exhaust outlets. I do really like that we have exposed exhaust outlets. And as far as the tow rating, there's something special to mention here. If you choose a off-road focused trim level, which would include this Adventure model, your tow rating is increased from 1,500 pounds up to 3,500 pounds, which is very impressive for this segment.
Now, moving on to our wheels, you have a wide assortment for 2024 as the previous model years, beginning at 17 inches, ranging up to 19-inch alloy wheels in various designs. With the Adventure, these are 19-inch alloy wheels, but they have kind of a darker finish. Actually, it's a matte gray finish, which I think looks pretty cool overall. You also do have the matte black wheel arch surrounds that are squared off. And in terms of our mirrors, so long as you choose anything except for the base LE trim level, you will have heating as well as blind spot monitoring.
Now, here at the side of the RAV4, of course, we have that kind of boxy, rugged look that I really think a lot of American buyers are looking for. As far as the overall length of this vehicle, it's 181 inches long. And there is a 2024 change that I want to talk about. Now, we have the standard just body color roof, which is really cool in this army green color. However, for 2024, you can actually get a black or white roof option on those trims that Drew was talking about earlier. So certainly a really cool option. It gives you more customizability with your RAV4, which I certainly like. Additionally, we're going to have really beefy roof rails up top for this Adventure model. Now, as far as your safety systems, Toyota is always good about including all of them as standard equipment. That's going to continue for the 2024 RAV4. You have all 4 active safety features included. But let's go ahead and hop inside and see if there are any changes in there. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Now let's go ahead and move on to the interior. First, of course, we'll take a look at the key fob. Typical Toyota key fob with the gloss black, and it does have RAV4 branding on it as well. Smart entry will be included on all but the base LE trim level, and when you have that system, you'll just reach behind the handle, and that's going to unlock the door. Now, taking a look inside the cabin, you're going to notice some unique things for this adventure trim level versus the other trim levels. But I do want to talk about your color options and materials for all the models. That begins with the LE and the XLE with cloth seats. Most of the middle trims are going to come with Softex faux leather. That is going to be included here with the Adventure as well. You have the choice between a black or a mocha. We do have the black, but we have the unique accents. So as you can see, you got the premium stitching that's going to run down the center as well as down the side. And then you have this kind of tire tread design, which you're going to see in the center of the seat as well as in some other places inside the cabin. Almost every single trim level will come with the 8-way power adjusting seats with 2-way lumbar support, but if you want memory seats, you are going to need to choose the limited trim. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now that we're inside, you know what time it is. It's time to check the rest of the cabin materials. With the Adventure trim, since it's one of the top models, you are going to have the more premium touches, including a full leatherette covered door trim. Goes all the way across the top here with the stitching detail. Upper dash is going to be a soft touch plastic. The center dash is again a leatherette with the stitching detail. As we move down to our lower panels, these are going to be hard touch, but everything is very solid feeling. Now we'll go ahead and fire it up with the push button start. Now that we've started it up, let's go around the cabin and start with our gauge cluster. As you can see, this is going to be the premium arrangement for the RAV4. So you have the 7-inch multi-function display in the middle, which you can reconfigure to a lot of different kinds of information. And then you have your small analog gauges punctuating the sides. As we kind of pull back, I do want to point out that this model comes, or we have the optional weather package, I should say, which gives us rain sensing wipers. It's also going to give us a heated steering wheel, although I do want to point out that Toyota only heats the steering wheel on the sides, so just from here to here, not on the top and bottom. The wheel itself is going to be manual tilt and telescoping. Now, one of our favorite things about the RAV4 has long been the amount of interior storage that we have, so let's dig into that. This is the first RAV4 we've been able to conduct our donut test on. We like to do this at Car Confections because that is our emblem, a donut. And inside of this center console, we have been able to put 10 donuts. That's a very good performance inside of this model, especially considering we still have 2 really deep cup holders in front of that, a large storage cubby in the very front that can have a wireless phone charging pad optionally, a large passenger storage shelf through there, plenty of door storage, and you even have a little pocket over here on the driver's side as well. So very, very good on interior storage. Now taking a look at the shifter, we've got a nice traditional style shifter. Just pull back for drive, bump over here to the left for manual shifting. We don't have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Going up, this is going to be our standard backup camera. This one is going to have active guidelines on board. If you want a 360 camera, though, you are going to have to move up the trim structure a little higher than this. P is for park, and you also have an automatic deploying electronic parking brake as well as brake hold. Now, as we rise up from there, on all but the base model, you're going to find a dual zone automatic climate setup. Nice, easy to use, large buttons and knobs right there. Part of our weather package was also the 2-stage heated seats, so you have your low and high with the toggle right there. Ventilated seats are available, but you will need to choose the limited trim. Modeled in the same fashion as the climate controls, we also have a volume knob for our sound system. Most models are going to come with the standard 6-speaker sound system. That's what we have. Of course, the JBL is also available. but let's give it a sample. Overall sound quality is fine, but of course if you want something that's a little bit more pop, choose that available JBL. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our display and the technology on board. So there's going to be two different displays. Toyota's giving you 8 or 9-inch options. Obviously the lower trims are going to come with the 8-inch display. The Limited and the TRD Off-Road will come standard with the 9-inch display, but you can also option them on to some of the lower trim levels. Regardless though, the nice thing about this is that Toyota is including their latest infotainment software, so you will still have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities, even if you have the smaller display. And you, like I said, have all the latest and greatest options when you cycle back into the Toyota system. Now, as we rise above here, you will see that we have a manual dimming mirror, but this is the frameless design, and we also have the optional HomeLink universal remotes, which are built into the bottom of it. One last option we have on this model is going to be our standard size sunroof. You can also option on a panoramic sunroof on many of the other trim levels.
Now the RAV4 is a family machine, so let's just go ahead and talk about what you're going to get here in the rear area. So first of all, probably the most important thing would be the space and how much room you have. As far as that's concerned, we're sitting at about 38 inches of legroom, 39.5 inches of headroom, and as far as how that compares to most of the main rivals, it's a little bit less on the legroom front than the Honda CR-V, the Nissan Rogue, but really it's plenty of space overall. Now, I did bring my ruler here, so we have about 7.5 inches of knee space. I'm 5'9". The seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", so we can provide those useful measures for you, and my feet can also slide right nicely up underneath of the seat. Now, as far as the features are concerned, Toyota doesn't leave you out in the cold, literally, because it's very cold today, because we do have rear vents, actually as standard equipment on every single RAV4 model. Very nice feature to have. And if you choose all but the very base LE trim level, you'll also get these 2 charging USB ports. So, yeah, your kids won't be in the back whining, "Mom, my phone, it's dead, blah, 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 blah." They can just plug their phone in and keep everything charged up. Now, as far as the center console area, we do have 2 cup holders inside of here. I also want to point out you can get heated rear seats, which would be nice on a day like today, but that's only optional on the Limited trim level. Now, as far as the door trim is concerned, we do have a very nice one. It's leatherette padded all the way from the top to the bottom because we do have that up-level door trim. And then as far as the very bottom, we do have some door storage. Now walking up to the tailgate, if you choose an XLE Premium trim level or above, you will have a Power 1S standard. We have it optionally here on the Adventure trim level. Additionally, you can get foot activation optional on the Limited trim. Now, as far as the space is concerned back here, the RAV4 is very practical and spacious, and you're going to find that in the cargo area as well. 38 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If you fold those seats down, they do fold 60-40 split, you're looking at 70 cubic feet as a maximum. So very good cargo figures for this segment of vehicle. Really the only main rivals that are going to be slightly larger would be your Nissan Rogue and the Honda CR-V, but overall it's not down much when it comes to cubic feet compared to those rivals. Now, there are not any handles in the cargo area. However, if you're at least decently tall, which I'm not really all that tall, you can kind of reach up here and fold the seats down, the 60-40 split folding, and that will allow me to get my cargo figure here. So I'm going to measure from the back of Drew's driving position to the rear of the cargo area and see how much length that we have. We're looking at 72 inches of overall length. And as far as the cargo width, we are looking at 41 inches wide. So here at Car Confections, we do like to measure these things so that you can know, can I fit a certain item in the cargo area? Because it's not all about cubic feet. It sometimes has a lot to do with the length and width. As far as under the floor, we do have a spare tire. It's also worth noting that over here on the side, we have a household style outlet. It's a 100-watt inverter, so certainly very nice to have that on this model. And the hybrid model is not going to really cost you much when it comes to overall cargo capacity if you're looking for the hybrid version. Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2024 RAV4. In this test drive, we're going to be talking about quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now, including getting our sound level reading so we can see how quiet this model is. But first, we want to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
All right, and as quick as that, we're up to 60 miles per hour in the RAV4. Now, like we mentioned at the spec dump, this is the traditional gas-powered powertrain. You do have some additional options as well in terms of hybridization, but this is percentage-wise the most common choice amongst RAV4 buyers, and it is a very good powertrain. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque, just to remind you guys of those numbers. And those are above average for the class. Actually, most of the rivals are gonna, start out below 200 horsepower, so you got a little bit of a horsepower advantage. And I think that it does feel pretty peppy when you're driving.
Yeah.
Now, as you can probably hear as I accelerate, this does also have a traditional automatic transmission. A lot of vehicles in this class are going to come with a continuously variable transmission, but this does have the 8-speed automatic when you choose this traditional gas version. This is a nice and smooth transmission. I've got no complaints about this. I mean, it just kind of goes about its business, something that you really won't notice in your everyday driving.
Yeah, and as far as if you choose that hybrid, now, Drew mentioned earlier the gas model is, of course, the most popular version and powertrain choice for the RAV4, but the hybrid is actually a very popular choice as well. If you choose that, you're going to have a little bit less of a traditional setup. You're going to have 219 horsepower, so you actually do have more horsepower with the hybrid. However, you will sacrifice the regular 8-speed automatic transmission and go for an eCVT instead. So you have a slightly different powertrain experience if you choose the hybrid model, so do keep that in mind. All right, we're speeding up to 55 miles an hour so we can get our signature sound level reading and compare to all this vehicle's rivals. Fan speeds on 1. 56.1 decibels is our official Car Confections sound level reading, going 55 miles per hour. And I don't have to sit here and guess and see how it compares to those rivals, because we actually have on our website at carconfections.com/sound level readings all of our sound level readings on all the reviews that we've ever done on this channel, which is a lot of cars. So we can really database and look through the different vehicles in this segment and see how it compares. And as far as how that stacks up, that does place it in the upper tier of quieter options in the segment, that's for sure. And it is worth noting it's very windy outside today, hence my giant winter jacket. It's only about 20 degrees and very windy, so that is something to keep in mind. Now, I do want to just also talk about your ride quality for the RAV4. Of course, we've spent extensive time with this model and this generation. We've reviewed it a lot of times on this channel. We've actually had it for a full week-long test multiple times. So we spent plenty of time with the RAV4 in order to tell you that it has fantastic ride quality. It's one of your better options in the segment. It does a great job of soaking bumps up as we go over a bridge right through here. It does everything that you need it to do in this segment, that's for sure. And I do also want to talk about your fuel economy and some of those practical elements that you'll be looking for in the RAV4. So if you choose a gas-powered model, you're going to be sitting at 30 miles a gallon combined. If you choose front-wheel drive, if you have all-wheel drive, like what we have on this particular model, you're going to be sitting at 28 mpg combined. And one of the things I do want to point out when it comes to front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive is that you do have all-wheel drive standard on the Limited, Adventure, and TRD trim. So you're going to have all-wheel drive as the standard option for a few of those trim levels, and then the other trims have the option of adding it. Now, it's also worth noting, if you're wanting the best fuel economy, the hybrid is definitely the way to go, because the hybrid gets 40 miles a gallon combined and does have standard all-wheel drive. So if you're looking for that best fuel economy figure, the RAV4 hybrid certainly is a very good choice. All right, let's get into our airball and slam dunk, our favorite element, our least favorite element. Drew, why don't you kick us off with the slam dunk?
Yeah, so the slam dunk today is just going to be how Toyota has kept this model up to date. This actually came out in 2019, this generation, so it's been a good deal of time since then, and really we still have just such a well-rounded product.
Yeah.
It's easy to see why this sells in such volume, because it's a vehicle that you can pick all these different trim levels and really match to whatever your needs are. It is going to meet them for your family.
Yeah. And as far as the airball is concerned, Toyota knows that this is one of the better options in the segment, and they're pricing it accordingly. So, you know, the RAV4 is one of the most expensive options in the segment, especially if you get it limited with all the options. It can be pretty eye-watering price tag for this segment. And that's not even factoring in that you have the plug-in hybrid model that you can further increase to. So certainly the RAV4 is not the cheapest offering. Whether you think that's a con or not, that's just going to be up to you, but you are getting a lot, but you're also going to be paying quite a bit. And before we talk about that price, let's go ahead and talk about the warranty. You're going to have a 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, a 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. Toyota does also include 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Now let's go ahead and talk about pricing for the RAV4. So we're going to start at a little over $28,000 for the LE RAV4 with front-wheel drive. Of course, there's a lot of different trim levels that you can choose from for this RAV4 lineup. As far as this adventure model that you've been seeing today, we're starting at $34,670 as tested today. We're going to have quite a few options on this model, as most RAV4s have quite a few options on them. Additionally, with the 1350 destination, we're sitting at $39,519 as tested today. And if you're looking to buy a Toyota RAV4 or any new vehicle, we want to remind you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, on our website, we have a tool that will connect you with local dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. Additionally, it's going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealer negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description. And guys, that's going to be all for our in-depth review of the 2024 Toyota RAV4 Adventure. If you found this video helpful in your purchasing decisions, which I hope you did, please pay us back by hitting that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you help us do this full-time so we can provide the latest car reviews to you all who are looking to buy new vehicles and inform you of all those 2024 changes that might happen model year to model year. So please hit that subscribe button down below. You play a very pivotal role. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.